In this video, you will learn how to make the pattern for an A-line frock. A frock is a dress or light overdress more commonly worn by younger girls. The A-line frock is fitted at the hips and gradually widens towards the hem, taking the shape of the capital letter A. To make a pattern, you will need a pattern sheet, a ruler, markers in 3 different colors, and a pair of scissors. Take a pattern sheet and spread it flat out on the table. Remember that patterns are often cut on fold for symmetry. You therefore need to fold the pattern sheet once along its length so it forms a rectangle with 2 longer sides. If you want to adapt the garment to your own size, you will need the following measurements. Both the front and back of the A-line frock that we shall create will be cut from the same pattern. Begin by marking the following points so that the basic design of the pattern is ready. Start by marking point A, 0.5 inches from the top edge along the fold. Shift the ruler further along the width and mark another point half an inch from the top. Draw a line through these points spanning the width of the sheet. We shall now mark the length of the frock along the folded side of the pattern sheet. To do this, mark point B, 22 inches from A along the folded edge. Shift the ruler further along the width of the sheet and mark another point, 22 inches from the line running through A. Make sure the ruler is held perpendicular. Draw a line through the 2 points spanning the width of the sheet. This line represents the hem. We shall now mark the bust line. Place the ruler along the 0.5 inch line from the top edge and mark point C, 4.5 inches from A. Now, place the ruler along the fold and mark point D, 5.5 inches from A towards B. Shift the ruler parallel to AD and mark point E, 5.5 inches from C. Draw the line CE. Place the ruler perpendicular to the fold and mark point F, 7 inches from D past E. Draw a line from D to F. We shall now mark the points that make up the side seam of the frock. Place the ruler perpendicular to the fold and mark point G, 9 inches from B. Now, draw a line that connects the points F and G. Once this is done, mark point H, 1 inch from G on the line FG. We will now mark the layout of the neckline. On the line AB, mark points I and J, 2.7 and 1.7 inches from A respectively. Mark point K, 1.7 inches from A towards C. With the ruler held parallel to the line AK, mark points L, 1.7 inches from I and point M, 1.7 inches from J. Draw a line from K to L. You may now proceed to mark the hem allowance of the frock. Mark two distant points an inch below the hemline and draw a line through them. Extend the line FG to the line you have just drawn. Now, along the extended line, mark point S 0.1 inches below G. We shall next mark the points that define the curve of the armhole and then mark the shoulder. On the line CE, mark point P 0.3 inches below C and point Q 1.1 inches above E. Draw a line between the points K and P. KP is the shoulder line. You may now draw the arcs that define the curves of the neckline, armhole, and the rounded end of the hem. Start by drawing arcs from K to J and from M to I to define the neckline of the front and back pieces. Now draw an arc from P to F that defines the armhole of the back piece. Draw another arc from P to F, this time passing through Q to define the front armhole. The front armhole will have a bigger curvature than the back one. Draw an arc from point H into the line BG as shown. Now, draw a parallel arc from point S into the hem allowance line. You may now proceed to define the side seam allowance. Mark a series of points at a distance of 0.5 inches from the side seam line using a second color. Once this is done, draw a line running through the points and use the same color to shade the seam allowance as shown. Repeat the process along the armhole, but use many more equally spaced points for a precise arc. Join the points with a dotted line and shade the seam allowance. Now, using a third color, shade the hem allowance as shown. You may now start cutting the pattern along its outline. Follow the outline all the way up to C. Now, cut along the back neckline arc from J. Finally, cut a line from the top edge to the point C that runs parallel to KP, defining the shoulder seam allowance. Shade it using the second color as shown. If you like, open out the folded pattern and verify the dimensions and shape. You have now learned to make the pattern for an A-line frock. Don't forget to watch the remaining videos to finish your garment.